Hey everybody, welcome to Essential Yoga. This is the April version, and this is about energy and taking sort of the rejuvenation that spring brings and putting that into our life, both on and off the mat. I'm excited for this one. This blend of oils, this collection is just springy. It's amazing. And so when we go through the practice today, this is not only going to bring in aromas that help to detoxify our body and clear out some of the mental clutter that the sluggishness of winter brings, but it's also going to be a practice that's really going to invigorate the body and kind of get us ready for this season of growth. If you remember in March, we talked about alignment and we talked about our choices being in alignment with the vision that we have for our life. We also talked about kind of toiling our garden and turning over the soil, preparing for planting of the seeds. Well, we're in it. We're in the month of April, and now we get to really look at, where do I want to grow? How do I want to awaken this spring? So I love these oils. If you want samples of them, please reach out to me. There's plenty in my collection to share, and I would love to make sure that you have the full experience of this class. So what we're going to start out the gates with is peppermint and orange in your diffuser. Now, if you don't have a diffuser, that's okay. You can take and just smell the peppermint and orange right from the bottle. That works well. You can put a couple drops in your hand and just cup your nose. That works well. You can use a little spray bottle. I have plenty of those. If you need one, you just add some regular old water. Some people say tap water. Distilled water. I use tap water. It's no big deal. Spray around you. Okay, so we're getting that aromatic benefit of peppermint and orange. And then we're going to work through some springy oils, but that's what you need to start. Make sure that you're in a comfortable place where there's not going to be a ton of distractions. Today's practice is going to be a lot of twists, a lot of cleansing, and a lot of inward looking. And that's what makes a practice so beautiful, is when we can really come into kind of looking at all aspects of our life in that cleansing out some of the old thoughts that they're old, they don't work anymore. So make sure that your space is comfortable. Make sure that you have your oils handy. You have a quiet space. I know quiet in a home practice is relative, but for the most part, and I have found in my own practice at home, I've come to crave it and love it. I kind of like the sounds of life going on around me, because it's a great practice for me to attach my thoughts to that noise. And then I'm there, or I can just identify it like, oh, there goes the dog barking at a squirrel, and just come back to my breath. So let's dive into peppermint and orange really quick, and then I'll start the practice. But it's really, these two oils together are probably my most common combo in my house, because they both work individually amazing, but then together they work synergistically to really do some powerful things. So peppermint physically is going to be something, it's going to be an oil that helps us with any sort of respiratory. It helps open up the airways, that minty, bright, invigorating aroma. It's going to be great for when we have some congestion, either in our nose or in our chest. It's also going to be great for stomach aches or any sort of like tension around the head and the neck. I like to just take it and put it along my hairline, never near my eye, up and over my ear, down behind my ear, and then down my neck. And it just sort of, that cooling really helps with when I'm feeling tension. And it may not be turning into an actual headache, but peppermint can immediately kind of soothe that. Emotionally, we know peppermint as the oil of the buoyant heart. This is going to be an oil that really lifts our spirits. This is one that just gives us this sense of fullness in our heart, I guess, like a light heart. And this one can help us to increase some of our tolerance for things that aren't necessarily going the way that we think they should. Maybe even some people say peppermint can even help us sort of stomach sort of life showing up. So I picked it today in our energy theme to encourage us to let go and just to move on with this bright awareness. And this one is designed, today's workshop is to help us make some new choices, plant some new seeds in our very wonderful soil, and move on with some renewed energy. So go ahead and take a few breaths of peppermint and orange together. Drop is fine. And then have a glass of water for lime. You can also take lime directly under the tongue or on the tongue. It's just a beautiful citrus. And that's what was going to be our internal use for this class. And physically, lime is excellent choice for being an internal cleanser. This has great flavor. It's perfect to use in foods that you might typically squeeze a lime onto. This one helps our immune function. This one helps our system remove excess water and fluids and toxins that build up. Even if we have a really clean life and a really clean sort of diet, we still bring in toxins through our cleaning supplies, through environmental toxins. So it really helps our lymphatic system kind of get rid of that. But emotionally, I love lime emotionally because it is referred to often as the oil with the zest of life. This one helps us get rid of emotional toxins. These are going to be toxins that are repressed and stored. This one helps get rid of sort of that apathy and resignation and blah that we might have in the winter months. So we're coming out of that. This one brings hope and joy and courage and true zest for life. And so I wanted to put it in today's workshop as an internal option to get that detox going physically, but also just sort of to lighten the mental load. So go ahead and have a sip of lime. You've got wild orange and peppermint around you aromatically. Internal use of lime. Let's get busy. I want you to go ahead and start in child's pose. So come to all fours and then let your hips sink back to your heels. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off as I do because I want you to have a really intuitive kind of self-exploration practice. So go ahead and find yourself in child's pose. Beautiful. I like to have my knees wide here, and that really offers my belly a chance to sink in and my heart really to melt. My forehead is typically on the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, just stack your fists one on top of each other and rest your forehead there. And start to just arrive into your space. Beautiful citrus and mint swirling around you, and arrive into your breath. Start to deepen your breath just a little bit. You might even come to this sort of internal counting of your breath, just letting the breath move in a fullness, maybe to a count of 3 or 4. And then the equal exhale, we tend to hold on to things, and we even hold on to our breath, whether we realize it or not. And that just comes in this very subconscious, I gotta hold on. Today's class, we're going to really work on rejuvenating our mind, body, and spirit by letting go, by releasing, to make space for all that growth. Start to rise up to all fours, and let's start with some hip circles. So just start to swirl your hips, making this oval shape on the mat. It's a beautiful way to start to bring some energy into the body. Circles are wonderful in the Kundalini tradition of yoga to kind of stir up that serpent of energy at the base of our spine. You might even find that your head gets involved in this action just a little bit. You might dip your elbows and roll your heart forward. It can be however it feels good to you. I love to close my eyes here and just sort of explore my body in this circular shape. Beautiful. Now start to reverse your direction. And just notice how that feels just a little bit different. Rolling through your circles, opposite direction. Churning, releasing, maybe the head falls so that you get this beautiful space in your neck. Beautiful. Now come to a tabletop, just regular old tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and then look past your right shoulder and feel that side bend. Feel the space between your ribs and your hip of your left side. You might even Jut your left hip out just a little bit. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to center into that tabletop when you breathe. And then look over your left shoulder and see if you can recreate that space, but on the right side. Beautiful. Come back to tabletop. Curl your toes under, push into the L's of your hand and really feel that connection. And then take a breath in. And then your hips are going to go up and back. And your heart is towards your toes or your thighs. Your eyes are looking at your feet. And then take a long breath in as you rise up onto your tippy toes. When you exhale, see if you can release the heels towards the mat and let go. And try that again. Breathe in and lift up your heels. Feel that space, tippy toes. And then exhale, the hips sink towards the mat. Beautiful. Let's take your right leg up to the sky. Go ahead and point your toes this time. Tuck your left cheek under as you roll your right hip up. Maybe even bend your right knee and feel that space through the right side body. Looking past your right armpit, really feel that. Beautiful. Re-extend the right leg long. And when you exhale, return it to the mat and breathe in down dog. Down dog sort of becomes this home base for us. I like to, in the first few downward facing dogs of my practice, even kind of shimmy my shoulders and my hips a little bit. And then I find stillness and kind of settle in. Let's try that on the left side. You'll take a breath in and lift up your left leg and point your toes. This allows that hip to roll up as the right cheek tucks under. Bend your left knee and feel that. You feel that beautiful opening. Fantastic. Re-extend the left leg. Return it to the mat, downward facing dog. And breathe. Let's take the right leg up to the sky, but this time press through the heel and keep the hips square to the mat. So we don't open the hip this time. It's just this strong right leg pushing through the heel, hips square. Take a breath here. Now bring your right foot through, put it between your hands and lower your left knee. Go ahead and leave your left hand on the mat. We're going to come into our first twist. Lift your right arm up and just see if you can roll your heart up. It's just an easy twist, a modified dragonfly. It's beautiful. Go ahead and lower your right hand and frame your right foot. Now peel up, keep your left knee down, but come into this low crescent lunge. Take your arms high to the sky. And then see if you can put your hips just slightly forward, just to offer an opening of that left hip flexor. And then maybe the nose will rise. Keep your arms extended up. It's beautiful. Nice opening here. Beautiful. Now bring your hands together at your heart. Straighten your spine. And when you take an inhale, get a little bit longer through your spine. See if you can grow an inch. Tuck your chin and then twist to the right, hooking your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Take another breath in and then twist just a little bit more, using that elbow almost as a tiny bit of leverage here. Remember, twists are incredibly cleansing for the body. We're almost constricting some blood flow here into our internal organs, which is an amazing way to kind of push out some of the old stagnant fluids and blood in the organ, almost like massaging it. Think of a towel. We're kind of wringing it out here. Beautiful. Now unwind back to front slow. This is pushing fresh blood into the organ, the liver especially. Take your arms high to the sky. Draw a line with your nose up. Maybe even reach back as you welcome your heart forward. And now straighten your spine. Lower your hands to the mat. Tuck your back toes. Lift up your left knee. We're in a low lunge. Push into your hands and take a breath in. Step back to downward facing dog. And breathe. So to that home base again. gathering up the breath. Let's try that on the left side. You'll take a breath in and your left leg goes high, but we're pushing through the heel, which forces the hips to stay square. Having a little bit more core engagement here. Take a breath. And now bring the left foot through, lower the right knee. Now keep your right hand plugged into the mat, but lift your left. Find that easy twist, modified butterfly or dragonfly. Feel that. And now lower your left hand, frame your foot. Bring the torso up, keep the knee down. Crescent lunge, low. Even that right shin is sort of glued into the mat. And then just a slight push of the hips forward allows the nose to rise, and we get this beautiful opening in the hips. Nice. Bring your hands to your heart. Get long through your spine, maybe tuck the chin, grow. And now turn to the left and put your right elbow on the outside of that bent left leg. We're going to use that for a little bit of leverage. Take a breath, spin to the left. This is a wonderful twist to the left side for the stomach and the spleen. Go ahead and come back to center and unwind. Just bring the arms high again. Beautiful. Maybe draw a line with the nose. And then lower the hands to the mat. Curl the right toes under and let the right knee come up. Engage the abs. Take a breath. And step back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Shift your eyes to the top of your mat. And as you walk your feet to the top, go ahead and grab your cedar wood. Just hold it in your hand as you make your way into a forward fold. And then heel and toe the feet so they're wider than the hips and just start to move side to side, letting the arms sort of dangle like spaghetti. You might even find a figure 8 shape. Again, really just moving. Beautiful. Find some stillness. And as slow as you can, rebuild the spine. Come up to stand. First time we've been completely upright. And then go ahead and step your feet closer together. Unscrew the cap of your cedar wood. This beautiful woodsy oil is so relaxing to the body and mind. Just take a few inhales from the bottle. Incredibly calming. This one helps us when we're having any sort of anxious feelings. Helps us to let go of some tightness that we might have in the body, which is going to prepare us to be open to flow. Another great oil for respiratory function. Can be important this time of year as things start to pollinate and begin their growth cycle. Emotionally, cedarwood is the oil of community. This one helps us to remember we're never really alone. This one helps us to feel joy in relationships by staying grounded and feeling that we belong. I picked it today to begin our practice of a sun salutation flow, to clean out any stale thought patterns our body might be holding on from winter, kind of help us relax into opening up into something new, maybe new insights, maybe new connections. Go ahead and take a little swipe of that cedarwood and put it right along your mustache, my favorite place to put oils so that I'm getting them topically and aromatically. Beautiful. Keep the bottle in your hand, screw on that cap, take your arms high to the sky. Beautiful. When you exhale, swan dive over your bent-ish legs. Lay that bottle of cedarwood on the floor. Slide your hands halfway up, take a breath in, and forward fold. Rebuild the spine slow, just one more time. When you get to the top, you will exhale. Take your arms high to the sky. Bend your elbow this time and exhale, let go. Recreate length, inhale. Float over your legs and exhale. Find your rhythm here. Take a halfway lift, you'll breathe. And a deeper forward fold as you let go. One more time, we'll rebuild slow. I like this idea of coming up slow and attentive to the body. Lower your shoulders. We're gonna pick up the pace and add on. Take a breath in, reach high to the sky. Bend your elbows and exhale. Recreate length, inhale. Float over your legs and exhale. Beautiful. This time, come up with some power. Inhale, reach and rise. Get longer than you were. Now bend your elbows, lean back and exhale. Inhale, back up with some power here. Get long. Exhale, forward fold. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. One more time, come up with power, grow. Inhale, awaken the body. Bend your elbows, exhale. Oh, so nice. Recreate length, inhale. Beautiful, exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees as if you're sitting in a chair. Bring your arms by your ears. It's that powerful pose. Now take a peek down at your toes. Make sure you can see your toes. If you can't, sink back into your heels. Bend your knees more than you think you can. Maybe even let your toes lift up off the mat. Beautiful. If this hurts your back at all, couple things you can do. Tuck your tailbone under to create space. You're not crunching back there. Or you can just lower your arms. I prefer to have my hands at my heart center or even down by my side. You pick. Beautiful. We're going to stay here for a breath. Full exhale. And then bring your hands together at your heart. Beautiful. Take a long breath in and turn to the right. See if you can hook your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. It's hard, but you can do it. Squeeze that body. Take a breath in and now turn and look past your right shoulder. Breathe. Stay in this glorious twist. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Take a breath or two. Remember, that rush of blood into the internal organs is invigorating. It's cleansing. It's detoxing. It's so awesome. It brings a lot of energy to the body. Take a halfway lift just to reset. And then a forward fold. Let's come up with power again. Reach and rise. Maybe even look up. Bend your elbows and exhale. Recreate length. Forward fold, float down. Ready for the chair? Bend your knees, biceps by the ears. Sink into your bent legs. Drop into your heels. Breathe. Breathe. This is my least favorite posture, but I come to it because I want to be reminded that I can do it. I can be in the uncomfortable because I can be reminded that it's temporary. Bring your hands together at your heart. Create length in your spine. Tuck your chin. Take a breath in. Turn to the left. Hook your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Take another breath in. And now squeeze as you twist. Squeeze as you twist. Beautiful. Come back to center. Forward fold and let go. Let go. When we think about last year, when we think about the winter, we think about yesterday. Is there something that we have held on to that is clogging up our garden, that is getting in the way of our growth? Now's the time. And this beautiful forward fold, sometimes it's referred to as waterfall. And it's a beautiful opportunity to just let go. Let's take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Grab the rosemary and slowly come on up to stand. Mountain pose. Go ahead and unscrew the cap of that beautiful rosemary. This is a wonderful oil. Again, another respiratory supporting essential oil. It's also excellent to use in foods, potatoes, pot roasts, things like that, that you would use a dried rosemary herb. It just takes a drop. You have to use them very mindfully when we're cooking. But this one helps us to let go of mental fatigue. In fact, research shows that a whiff of rosemary can help us with long-term memory, recall of specific things, numbers, dates, important information by 75%. So it's an excellent choice for somebody who is struggling with memory. It's often referred to as the oil of remembrance or the oil of knowledge. Go ahead and breathe in a little bit. And then just take a little bit on your finger and rub it along the back of your neck. This one encourages some blood flow in the body and into the brain, really helping us open up our mind. And I want you to take another drop or two into your palm of your hand and just apply it to your chest. Just put it right there below the throat. And then keep your hand on your heart. Emotionally, rosemary encourages us to take a deeper look within and excavate our true knowledge and discover our own answers. Sometimes we rely on people to tell us what we need to do or where we need to go with our life, but we know our own values and we know our purpose in the world. And rosemary can really help us tap into our confidence and faith in our own potential. I picked it today just to help continue further clean out some of the sluggishness that can happen when we're not stimulated or we become bored and stagnant. And that often happens during winter. Beautiful. Take your arms to the sky and a forward fold. Lay the rosemary on the mat and step your left foot back. Bend your right knee. Keep your hands on the mat. It's just a low lunge. Really push through that back heel, the left one. Bring your arms high to the sky. We're going to be in a high crescent lunge here. So organize your body. Sometimes we wobble. Sometimes we need to reset the feet. But now get into the posture. Bend your right knee a lot. Your biceps are by your ears. Palms are towards each other. Beautiful. Let's take a breath in. Bend your elbows just like we did in mountain pose. Maybe even lean back just a little bit, arching the heart upward. Maybe the eyes follow. Can challenge the balance, but we can do it. Recreate length in the arms and straighten your spine. Press your palms together at your heart and stay. Take the torso and lean forward just a little bit. Diagonal line, really push through the left heel. Right knee is bent. Take a breath in. You might know where we're going. Turn to the right and hook your left elbow once again on the outside of the right thigh. Try to keep your spine long here. Take a breath in. Turn and look past your right shoulder as you breathe out. We will stay for a breath or two. Remember that exhilaration that rosemary brings. Come back to center. Take your arms high to the sky, high lunge. Beautiful. Now lean forward and sweep your arms back like you're going to take flight. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. High lunge, maybe even tip back. Exhale, sweep and lean. Find this movement here. Inhale, arms go forward, then up, eyes follow. Exhale, sweep and lean. You have one more. Inhale, all the way up with the arms. Maybe the eyes follow. Exhale, sweep and lean and stay. Now take your shoulders away from your ears. Reach your fingertips to the back edge of your mat. Right leg is feeling heat. Stay and breathe. Stay and breathe. This confidence in your own potential, about to take flight, coming into a new season. Beautiful. Inhale the arms high. You have this. Exhale, hands float to the mat. Look forward about 2 feet in front of the mat. And now lift your back leg, lift it up. Standing split-ish. Left leg is high. Maybe bring your nose towards your right knee. Beautiful. Take a breath in and bring your feet together and fold. Take a halfway lift. A forward fold. Right foot leads the way. Step back. What we do on the left, we do on the right. Bend your left knee. Push through your right heel. Feel it. Engage the belly. And come on up to that high crescent lunge. Arms are high. Biceps by the ears. Drop into the bent leg. Really feel it. Sometimes as we go through anything, we start to slack a little bit. We start to pull back just a little bit. We might even doubt. Bring your palms together at your heart. Now lean forward, lean forward. Turn to the left, hook your right elbow on the outside of your left thigh. Keep the spine long, maybe even tuck your chin. Take a breath in and now turn, look past your left shoulder. Feel the twist. Stay and breathe. Nice, come back to center. Bring your arms high to the sky. Fantastic. Let's bend our elbows, lift our heart. See if we can find that arch of the spine as the eyes go up. Arms go high to the sky. Take a breath in. Here's that sweep. Lean forward. Sweep your arms back as if you're about to take flight. Inhale, arms go high. Eyes might even follow. Exhale, sweep and lean. Feel your body becoming energized as you keep going. About 3 more times. Coming out of this winter sludge. Starting to feel the sunshine, the smells of spring, life beginning again. And so are you. Take another cycle. And when you're leaning and sweeping, stay right there. Feel the heat in your left leg. Beautiful. Inhale, arms go high. Let your hands float down to the floor. Look forward a couple feet. Lift your right leg, standing split-ish. Breathe. Take a breath in and lower your feet together at the top of your mat in a forward fold. Heel until your feet as wide as your mat. Take your toes off of the mat. Bend your knees, bring your hands together at your heart, and just come down into a yogi squat. Beautiful. Lower the hands in front of you. Let the hips rise into a wide forward fold. Start to roll the spine up, but grab the geranium on the way. Grab your geranium. Now this is one that a little bit goes a long way. This is one of those florals that you either love or hate, but this is an excellent oil for blood flow and circulation. It's also great to calm the nerves and really amazing oil for any sort of anxious feelings. Remember, all of the flowers are going to be soothing and calming. This is great for skin, for hair, It's just a beautiful oil. It's great at balancing some of those systems, like balancing our skin and our hair and our nerves. Go ahead and unscrew the cap. Just take a slight little sniff. You might back away. It smells just like a geranium. And some people say it smells like a little old lady, but I've come to love it. I've come to love it. I want you to take a little dab onto your finger. And I want you to put it right between your brow, third eye. Restore your confidence in the goodness by trusting inside your own wisdom. Take another little dab on your finger and press it right against your heart. This one softens anger. It helps us to let go of some of those wounds. It instills unconditional love. If you can't afford rose oil, this is a perfect choice to come into that same sort of opening of the heart. And I picked it today to help us balance the life force within us, helping us to feel as much unconditional love as we sometimes feel over resentment and anger, really kind of heal and take over those emotional wounds so that we can find love and trust. Perfect. Perfect. Now go ahead and set the bottle on the floor. We're going to come into a standing balance, and then we'll make our way all the way down. So just come to mountain pose. Maybe close your eyes for a moment, a breath or two, and just kind of reset. This beautiful aroma. It's strong, but it's so good. It's so good. Go ahead and reach your arms high to the sky. Bring your palms together at your heart. We've been here a lot today. When we put our hands together at our heart, it's called a mudra, and it means to offer. It's called Anjali Mudra, but the sealing of our hands really helps us to bring balance into our mind, body, and our spirit. It's a very powerful thing to create a seal with your hands. Now take the weight over into your left leg just slightly. Lift up your right knee. And now cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. It's a figure 4. Bend your left knee a little bit. So it's almost like you're sitting in a really high chair. And if you need to take your arms out and hold on to something, feel free to do that. This is a hard one, but it's really good. So it's a figure 4. Right ankle is over the left thigh. And now you might stay here and just play with bending the standing leg just a little bit. Or you might, depending on your body, feel as though folding over this bent leg contraption is going to feel really good. Either way is fine. Feel the opening here. We're not here long, so we breathe. We know everything's temporary. Now begin to come back up and uncross the right leg. Lower your eyes and just let it go. Remember, this is a practice. Having those negative thoughts about I can't and this isn't and I'm not, those don't serve you on the path of growth. You are, you am, it's okay. Bring the hands back to the heart, find the seal. Left knee this time lifts, and now cross the left ankle over the right thigh, start to bend the right knee, and you might stay here. It's almost like a chair-ish pose, figure 4, or you might say, I want to forward fold, and this really allows a deep stretch in the hips. Your practice, there's your choice. And if neither one feels good, that's okay too. We're not here long. Start to come back up, unslip the left foot and come back to mountain pose, hands down by your side. Now cross your right leg over your left, make an X with your legs. Legs will be straight-ish. Take your arms high to the sky, maybe even look up. When you exhale, float down over those crossed legs. Fingertips probably won't touch the floor. They just sort of hang and your head hangs and your upper body is draped over the crisscrossed legs, and it's a beautiful opening. And it's an opportunity again with the head below the heart to let go and to say, I'm done. It doesn't serve me anymore to hold on to that resentment. I want to soften. And when I'm soft, I can grow. When I'm soft, I can love. When I'm soft, I can have faith. Slowly rebuild the spine. Shoulders are last, head is last. An exhale might come naturally from your body. Uncross the legs. Take your left over your right. Make the X. Pinky toes are trying to touch. Take your arms high to the sky. And now float down over the legs, letting everything in the upper body release. Maybe even the shoulder blades open in the back as you round slightly. And that is a beautiful gesture that's saying to the past, I'm open, I release, I let go, I forgive. Go ahead and start to unwind as you come up slow. And the very last thing is a beautiful exhale. Begin to lower the body onto the mat. Just grab that geranium one more time. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. And then push your heels away from you in seated star. Take a little dab of the geranium, or maybe you don't want geranium. You want cedarwood again. Pick one that you really loved. I just picked geranium because it's such a beautiful oil for letting go. And take a few drops and dabs and slide it along the instep of your foot, your inner ankle. Then place your hands right there and take a breath in. And forward fold. And close your eyes. Now really slowly, go ahead, come up to a seat, grab your wild orange. Keep your feet just as they are, soles of the feet touching like pages of a book opening. Go ahead and unscrew the cap of the wild orange. Just take a pretty hefty inhale. This beautiful, bright citrus is a powerful cleanser and purifying agent for the surfaces in our home, but also within our body. It's so high in antioxidants and supportive to the immune system, but it's uplifting for the mind. It's a beautiful citrus oil in that it also helps when we have some of those overactive thoughts. And go ahead and drop a few drops of wild orange into your hands and rub your hands together and cup your nose. This is one that you can't ever get too much of. It's so good. Helps us when we're feeling anxious and to calm our emotions. And I know I say all the time that a citrus oil is going to be uplifting and bright. Mild orange is unique, has the ability to do that if that's what our brain chemistry is saying, hey, I need a lift. But it's also really a beautiful oil because it can really help to calm us down and bring positive mood and releasing things that don't serve us anymore. And I think because of its ultimate brightness, it really helps us to come into the present and to acknowledge all that is good, all that we have. It's often referred to as the oil of abundance because it encourages that recognition that the world is an abundant place, and I am renewed with the energy that is around me through life happening, the birds chirping, the robins coming back. The little sprouts of green and flowers, color, coming back into our environment and into our own world. Go ahead and roll all the way onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And take your knees over to the left, tee out your arms, and your head is going to know exactly where to go. And bring your knees back up to center and drop them over to the right. Back up to center. Take a final squeeze. Then come into your final pose. Remembering that spring adds new life and new beauty to all that is. The combination of oils and postures today really helped us to release both physical and emotional toxins that are getting in the way. Now we have this beautiful, fresh mind, body, and spirit that is welcoming in, awakening to all that is. Please reach out to me if you'd like to fully experience each aroma. I'm happy to send you a little package in the mail or porch drop if you're local. Thank you so much for practicing with me and sharing your breath. It is an honor. Allow your body to stay in stillness as long as it feels good for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care and be well.